We're going to unleash the second ever callback, KFC radio callback. And
I like how the callbacks have to be. It's not going to call back someone every week. It's got to be.
I'd say maybe
real worthy.
like 3 times a year.
Yeah.
You know. And I think you can guess which one we're maybe calling back on. We're going to talk to the guy who found out he came out of the closet to his fiance. They decided to get married, stay married, have a kid together, and they sound like they're the happiest couple in the world. Yo, you there?
Yo,
what's up, man? How are you?
What's up, bro?
How we doing?
Doing good, guys. This is pretty crazy that this all happened like this.
Well, first of all, what's your name?
I'm Joe.
Joe. Okay. Well, here's the thing, Joe. I can understand it. It's crazy. You know, when I first texted you, you were like skeptical, didn't even know if it was real, and I get it, and I can even understand being like, "Whoa, I can't believe this blew up." But at the same time, you have to know that A, your story is crazy unorthodox, and B, your storytelling skills and the call you left was fucking amazing. So it actually doesn't surprise me that this is one of the biggest calls we've ever gotten.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I really did appreciate how you liked my voice. I actually do work in radio too, so I was like,
yeah,
not one person in the biz recognizing another.
Yeah, honestly, it did sound like a professional.
Pretty crazy. I mean, I guess part of me did think this would end up on the show, but at the same time, when I heard my voice in the show, I was like, holy shit.
Do you realize that there's a significant chance you've changed the world?
Really? I mean, we're joking about it and it's so funny and entertaining, but on a very real level, I think it's inspirational. I think it's motivational. I think it's setting an example. It's so progressive. It's incredible, man.
I mean, thank you guys. Now I know if I ever need an ego lift from our relationship, I'm just going to listen to this.
Yeah, just keep calling us. We'll keep telling you.
So how did it go when you first told her? Was it like a Costanza, like, nah, I don't care, we're not breaking up? Or was it like a, you know what, that's okay. Like, I think there's actually something special here that is very different and like an interesting way to raise a family?
Well, yeah, I mean, we had been together since 8th grade, and there was never a doubt in my mind that this was a girl I could spend my life with. But at the same time, there was a pretty glaring, obvious problem.
There had to be a little bit of a doubt. Maybe your dick had a doubt. I don't know. There had to be something in there saying, well, wait a minute, right?
And then one day, we finally decided to say, hey, what's wrong here? Let's try and figure this out. And
that was my question. Was there was there in the bedroom or something was like a little off? Like she wasn't like totally blindsided by it?
No, she wasn't blindsided. It was kind of one of those, oh, wow, this makes sense. Like a light bulb going off.
Yeah, all the pieces fit after the fact.
Actually, she said many times, it makes her feel so much better that this is the case. And it wasn't her. It was it was all on my end. There was nothing wrong on her end. She was doing everything right. But, guy over here, he just wasn't performing.
One of those.
Hand up, coach. It was my fault. One
of those true, it's not you, it's me.
Yeah, you were the true and the only example of that being real, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like Michael Thomas, refusing to admit I was injured. Put me back in there. I can do it again.
I mean, was that a struggle? For you had to come out basically to yourself at one point and admit it. You had to talk to your family, talk to her.
Honestly, we pretty much figured it out together.
Interesting. So one night having a combo?
To spare details, we were kind of looking into things that could be the problem. And then one thing led to another. I was like, holy shit, I might be bisexual. And she was like, no, you're gay. It was boom. It all just boom, floodgates opened. Everything made sense. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. That makes a lot of sense. And then we tested it, and it was yeah, that's definitely it.
Tested it. So that prior to that, you never had been with a guy or anything like that?
She was the only one there. And like I said, I never wanted to leave her. I never wanted anything else. It was I probably have ED. Oh, well, whatever. She's not complaining. It shouldn't be a problem, right?
Right. So we'll get back to her and the kids in a second, but that first time that you bang a guy after realizing it has got to be awesome, right? Or no, maybe it's scary. Maybe you were nervous.
I was going to say stressful. Be I better be fucking right. That's like almost like cutting the wire at the end of the movie. It's either red or blue. It's either red or blue. I'm going blue. This better be right.
I mean, honestly, it's how did I do that for 12 years?
Yeah.
That's like, what was I thinking? Like, holy shit, I thought those were orgasms.
So you weren't even getting, you were in there, you were getting hard, but you weren't getting off?
I mean, you could say it was getting hard, but let's be honest, it was probably 50% capacity.
But so I mean, it wasn't like you guys just were not having sex or trying, like, you know.
Yeah, no, we totally like had a physical relationship. I mean, like, maybe like once a month we do it.
Yeah.
And it just kind of be like, all right, here we go. I got to do this again. But like, it never was like a, ew. I never was thinking, I don't want to have sex with the girl. It's more like, it just seemed like too much work. And I thought that was it. Like, I'm lazy. I smoke pot. Maybe I'm just like a lazy pothead who doesn't have attention span for sex. That's
right.
what we always thought. And no, that wasn't it.
Joe,
so when you came to now, the baby came 2 years after. Did you go that we kind of talked about it on the show? I don't know if you've listened to this episode yet, but we wondered if it was IVF or did you go regular with it?
We did it old natural. And I guess I left out pretty big information. Like, this all happened 3 months before our wedding. So we were like, all right, this is a game time decision. Like, we got to decide, like, can we do this? Is this worth it? Are we fooling ourselves? And we're like, no, like, this changes nothing. Like, our sex life has never been good. That's not why we're together. So, like, this isn't going to change anything else. I'm still the same guy. You're still the same girl. Like, it's not like I'm changing my personality at all.
Yeah.
Now, were there
yeah, that sounds great.
Was it partly even a little bit influenced by like, look, we don't want to tell the whole family, let's just do this? Was it even a little bit influenced by like, look, we got a lot of money invested in this.
Yeah,
like,
we don't financial. You don't want to be embarrassed. You don't want to go through the headache.
Well,
let's just.
We did make the joke like, hey, let's go through the wedding, and if it doesn't work, we can split all the money down the middle and go our own ways. But there was no like familial pressure. There was no religion involved. We just didn't want to break up, and we decided like, let's still do this. We're best friends. Like, this is gonna work.
I said that like I feel like mixing sex with your spouse is almost the problem, which sounds so silly, but it's like we like sex and that aspect of relationships can cause so many problems with like jealousy and desire and all that shit, and it gets in the way of everything you just described. My personality and like my kid, like my love for her, and we could raise kids together. So in a weird way, you guys just took out the thing that can cause a lot of complication, and now you get to focus on, the shit that really matters. That's why I think you changed the world.
We actually have a little term together. It's called no sex expectations, because before, when we thought I was straight, we're going to have sex. You almost expect it to be good, but it's never going to be good. So obviously that's going to take a toll on your psyche. So now we're like,
right,
there's no sex expectations anymore. Like, I don't have to perform. I don't have to be this alpha male and woo you off your feet. I'm just your best friend, your husband.
It's like we say when you go out to dinner and you drink instead of having sex. Right. You're, like, she's having a bunch of shots. I'm having shots. She knows I'm not going to be able to get hard. There's no sex expectations. What we're going to do tonight is just have a good old-fashioned like party. We're going to have a good time. And that's when you have the most fun, right?
Those are the most
and
fun
that's
nights.
That's what Joe did with his life, with his wife,
Exactly.
It's brilliant, and it's like, I can't believe it took us this long. What's ruining marriages? Sex!
Sex is, I would have guessed that before, Joe. Joe kind of opened my eyes to it, almost like like his wife opened his eyes to being gay, where it's like, sex just ruins everything. And I've always known, but it's even more clear now.
Sex expectations was a huge problem with me. Joe was getting more laid than I was in my marriage, and he's gay. So it definitely is an issue. And I think usually it results in a breakup or blaming or whatever. And you guys were just like kind of mature enough and in love, like true love enough to be like, well, fuck it. Let's just keep doing all the good stuff now.
I can actually honestly say we have been happier than ever since the day I realized.
Does not surprise me. I think that you guys, you're probably the happiest couple I know, probably the happiest couple on the fucking planet, because everyone else is caught up in the bullshit. But your question was a bit troubling. Was that more for maybe entertainment's sake, or were you actually like,
I'm not going to lie. That was just, I felt like I'm not just going to like ask for advice in the situation. I got to Barstool this up.
Okay, all right, yeah, and I appreciate that,
bang my girl,
because it is a funny kind of hypothetical, and it did. We've had a couple good conversations.
I was going to get noticed if I didn't throw that question on again. So
and I talked about it today with Jared on CCK, and it opens up the door to conversation of like, what's guy code? Could you hook up with a girlfriend, an ex-girlfriend, a sister, all that shit? So I do appreciate that, but there wasn't. you're not actually worried about your friends banging your wife? Okay,
I
good.
mean, I'm not worried about it, and if it did happen, I would be like, awesome. Like,
Now,
like you guys made,
see, I
you
actually
made the point on the podcast, like your friend's gonna take the most care of her. Right?
Yeah.
I think at first I think I said I wouldn't do it, and the more I've thought about it, I think I probably would, because like there are always in a friend group, there's always like a different smattering of girlfriends and wives and stuff like that, and there's some who are just like they're fine, they're there, and then there's some who you really hit it off with, who you have like great chemistry with, and in the back of your mind you're always like, I wonder if we would have worked,
right?
And if it's like
definitely.
Well, hey, if you want to take a spin, like you can. Like I'm not interested. I'd be like, well, oh
yeah.
Now I guess maybe.
Is there any
but
friends
it's almost
like that?
like getting approval is weird. It's like I don't want to have to ask permission.
Okay, so if there was a guy, would you? I had the conversation with Jared today. Like, do you ask for permission? Do you hide it until you can't anymore? Would you want somebody to come up to you and say, like, I think I might have feelings for your wife, or which is crazy, I think it might be good together? Or what if they came to you and said, like, we've kind of been talking already for a month, or maybe we've even hooked up and we think we might like each other. Is this okay with you? Is there any, where's your level of like betrayal on this?
Well, no, I wouldn't be betrayed at all, to be honest, because you have to be realistic with the situation. Yes, we are, I would say, madly in love, and the plan is to stay together forever. But like at the same time, if something happens like that, you can't blame her. Like, if she found a guy who can have sex with her and do what I can, like, I'd almost feel like, hey, if you want to, go ahead. If it's a friend of mine, I wouldn't care either. Like, you have to be realistic with the situation. I would love
your plan is to
stay together forever, but
your plan is to stay together forever and then just get sex from outside people.
Exactly. You know, she's out with girlfriends and a guy hits on her, she can go home with him. I don't care. I'll find out tomorrow.
What about if, I guess it would be rare, like you guys wouldn't be out to dinner and some guy comes up and hits on her because people would assume that you're like together. But like, is there any, are there any rules, like ground rules for anybody out there trying to experiment with this?
Ground rules we have is like no birthdays, no holidays. Spend those together with the family. Other than that, like, I'll say we're up together and some hot guy comes up and hits on her and she's like, hey, like, you mind? I'm like, no, by all means, like, he's hot, go for it. You're
like, well, the only problem is I want to fuck him.
Yeah, it's like, how long? Like, find out if he's bi first. Maybe we both can go home with them.
Would there ever be a threesome on the table?
Oh, it's definitely on the table. We have not done it yet, but it's on the table.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, brother.
It's very on the table.
What's mine is yours, right? Don't you have to share everything?
Yeah, we're a family now. And, I mean, but if, like you said, let's be realistic, like, people do catch feelings. It's very hard to just keep it physical.
Our number one rule is openness. Like, if you happen to catch feelings, tell me about it. I'm not gonna be mad. I might even like encourage you to explore them. Like,
but also, this is possible for you too,
right? You keep talking about her, man. I feel like you're a very selfless guy. I think you got to think about, you know, you might find the guy who sweeps you off your feet. You've been, you know, torturing yourself for 15 whatever years. How long? You deserve to maybe find the guy who fits for you.
Well, honestly, that's what she's worried that I'm the one to catch feelings. I'm like, nah, I don't care enough to catch feelings. I've already used all my feelings on you.
That's
very
sweet.
So fucking romantic, man. You are a great guy, but what if
no fights, but I am romantic.
Is there any chance that like you would maybe get divorced and like under good terms though? It's like, I'm gonna marry this guy, you're gonna marry this girl, this other guy. We'll have like step parent situations and be like one.
We've always, like, we're not afraid to talk about this. And we've always said, if that happens, a small chance it happens, honestly, we'd be okay, like, living on the same street, you know, like, being best of friends, like, just down the block so I can see my kid every day.
Oh, that's my dream, man.
You fucking changed the game.
I know.
Every morning, you know, like, I wouldn't care. That'd be great. I mean, obviously, I would love for us to stay together, but we don't ignore that part of it.
That's my dream, dude. I'm, like, hoping to come into a little bit of money in the next few years, and I keep thinking to myself, like, what if I just get, like, a couple houses on the same block, and, like, her and her boyfriend or new husband can live there and I can live here, and like we can just like play in the backyard. I can see them from my house, but we have separation, but we can all be together. And it sounds like kind of crazy given the way you know we all grew up. How old are you, Joe?
I'm 28.
Yeah, so we're all like in the same ballpark, and that's just like how we, you know, that we're raised to think that's weird, but it's like, but maybe it's fucking awesome. Maybe that would be a cool way to do it, where everyone's happy, but also still in each other's lives, and you're getting all the important parts from people.
Yeah, there's no like real one size fits all for a family anyway.
Yeah.
Takes a village, right? Might as well just fucking build a village with all the people I know.
Your
and
own
trust.
village, yeah. It kind of is corny to come back. It all boils down to communication. It's just like, well, we'll talk about, if you fall in love with somebody, we'll talk about it. If I was gay and I talked about it, you find someone else, we'll talk about it. If we want to get a divorce, we'll talk about it. Is there any trepidation with telling your kid one day, or no?
We're still on the fence with that. I mean, obviously he's just one now, so we're not gonna
Never
be
worried,
talking
yeah.
anytime soon. But you never know, because what if it's like the point? Because we're not against like it getting to the point where like we have side relationships. Like we might both have a boyfriend. It's not going to be like a future relationship type thing. But like a guy might be over at the house all the time. Like we're not sure if he's just going to be Uncle Jerry, or is he going to be mom or dad's boyfriend?
Yeah, I mean, I do think though. The key in those situations is just like making sure everybody is communicated with well and feels loved and all that stuff. And I feel like you guys are like the gold star example, like banner of it. So I think like no matter what you decide to do, you guys will probably handle it the right way. Because I mean, you know when people call like like celebrity couples mom and dad. Joe and his wife are like mom and dad to me. Like they are, you guys are fucking incredible, man. You're everybody's inspiration.
I don't want to fangirl much here, but hearing you guys support it actually made my day.
No,
Dude, hearing the idea of it made my day.
I'm like, the wheels are spinning. I'm like, maybe I'll just say that I was gay and I'll do this too because it sounds amazing. Let me ask you one more question. I don't want to pry too much because I feel like I'm just asking you all these personal questions. But I've never talked to somebody who was in the closet and trying to be straight. That just wrapping my mind around that is crazy to me. And it sounds like, there were times where you struggled with it and weren't able to do it. But other times you just kind of like, you close your eyes and pretend, or your body, your mind just kind of like blocks it out and gets the job done. That to me is so hard to.
Like, you have to go to a completely different place. You can't focus on what's actually happening, or else obviously it's going to be a distraction. So it's kind of like, just do this and get through it,
right?
Type thing. And like it's not like
that's fucking hard, man. And I don't mean like just doing that. I mean like that's hard on your psyche and stuff like that. I imagine
it wasn't hard, and that was the problem.
Yeah,
but
I mean, it objectively kind of feels good, though, right?
Yeah, no, it kind of does. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I just get.
Well, we said this on the podcast. I'm like, it has to feel good, and then it's like, well, then why don't you just go bang a dude, Kevin? It feels good. It's not really how it works, man. It's crazy how mental it is.
Exactly. I mean, it wasn't the hardest thing. But like I said, for 12 years, I didn't know of gays. I wasn't like thinking of guys. I was just like, all right, this is like just another form of jerking off, I guess.
Yeah, interesting. Right.
Into this, I've got to do it, and hopefully I finish.
Amazing, man. You and your wife are literally, like I said, not even exaggerating, an inspiration, motivation for people to do it the right way. As a divorce guy, like I wish I handled a lot of things the way you guys did with communication and everything. So I really feel like for people going through relationship issues or sexuality issues or family issues, you guys are legitimately like a very good example for, I think, how people should handle their stuff.
Thank you, man. It means a lot to hear. I still am in shock this whole thing has gotten to this level, to be honest.
It is. I did feel bad because it obviously has gotten a lot of attention on Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that. And I think one of your lines in the voicemail was like, we're hoping to tell all our close friends, which is 14 to 20 people by the end of the year, I think. And I was like, I
forgot. I didn't realize that. Yeah.
I think they might know.
Yeah. Well, here's the easiest way. Just send this podcast to them.
Yeah, exactly. Something, we're not trying to hide it. So whatever,
Well, thanks for the time. Thanks for the voicemail. Appreciate it. And good luck with everything, man.
Thanks so much, guys. Thanks for calling me. This is crazy still. I'm still in shock kind of, but
don't be a stranger, man.
Joe will be in touch.
Yeah, you might have to be like, we'll consult you. Like, what do you think of this? How should they handle that? You got the right stuff, man. Thanks a lot.
Text me anytime, guys. If you need gay advice, I got you.